Welcome to Street Apologists Live. This is a show where we serve the underserved and look into the overlooked. Today we're talking about South Park having a whole episode with a bunch of Hebrew Israelism in it. And so we're going to play clips from it, and hopefully this show stays up, and we're going to do a little analysis and reaction and interaction. So let's get into the first.
Africans? You didn't hear about this? Black people are actually the Jews and people like Kyle have taken that from them? Stop talking to me. When the Jews came to America to escape persecution in World War II, they found that blacks were already the underclass in America. So they had to invent a story for themselves which they could make everyone believe because Kyle runs Hollywood. Kyle runs Hollywood, Duncan.
Okay. So apparently Kyle is a Jewish character in South Park. And the background to this episode is that you've got Kyle is sad that this guy, Cartman, I guess is his name. Cartman is sad that Kyle is spending all this time making TikToks with the character named Tolkien. It's spelled like J.R.R. Tolkien, but obviously there's an implication and a reference for Tolkien there. So what is happening is Cartman is trying to make the relationship between I might be getting some of the characters confused, okay? I'm not like a South Park fan or person. This is I think the second episode I've ever watched of it. The first episode, of course, was the episode on Mormonism that I watched. And so in this episode, to try to get his friend's relationship restored back, he's trying to bring division between Kyle over there, that's now friends with Tolkien. He's trying to bring division between them, the Jewish character and the black character. So Cartman's trying to bring division to the two characters. Does that make sense so far? And so what's wild about this is the premiere episode of season 26. That's why I said on the thumbnail, South Park premieres Israelism. So in the premiere episode, season 26, episode 1, can you believe it's been around that long? You have the way that the Cartman character realizes the best way to bring in division between the black character and the Jewish character is to talk about Hebrew Israelism. And so he's like, don't worry, buddy. I'm going to fix this. Okay, Kyle? I'm not Kyle. Whatever the other character's name is. Does somebody remember what the other character's name is? I forgot that's friends with Tolkien. So whoever that character is. So what's going on is the best way to bring division between a Jewish character and a black character, of course, is Hebrew Israelism. It's actually sort of meta here, right? It's true, and it's ironic, and it's weird. And so he's like, don't worry, I'm going to fix it, buddy. And what he does is, with his misguided effort, is he slides in during band practice or whatever. And, he's playing a woodwind instrument, and that's the, horns or whatever. But he slips over there and listen to what he says, okay?
It's awesome that someone like you could be okay with someone like him, given all the new information lately.
It's awesome that someone like you could be okay with someone like him, given all the new information. So here's the new information. Watch. So he's about to break Hebrew Israelism down to Tolkien. This is like a white GMS member, yeah? Introducing One Westism.
You know the stuff that's come out about how the Jews stole the black race's identity? That the lost tribes of Judah were actually all Africans?
Okay, so far it's right, depending on how you look at it. The stealing of identity, the identity theft claim, of course, is part and parcel of Hebrew Israelism. But then notice he says the lost tribes of Judah. And so we could look at it this two ways. We could think, they made a mistake. It's not the lost tribes of Judah. It's the lost tribes of Israel. All right? But here's the thing. This episode's called Cupid Yay, but they pronounce it Ye or something like that in the show. But it looks like Cupid Yay, 2 capital, Y-E capital, both, all right? And so what happens is this Cupid Yay character you're going to see later on represents Kanye West in his current incarnation. Now, why do I say all that? Because if you remember in Kanye West's interview about this, he said something about the lost tribes of Judah. So he made that mistake, and I pointed it out when I covered some of this. Here's my point. They're imitating Kanye basically here, and so I think that's why they are saying lost tribes of Judah. I don't think they actually think that, because lost tribes of Judah doesn't actually make sense, but that's what Kanye said mistakenly. So they're actually imitating Ye's mistake. Again, this is really, really meta, people.
You didn't hear about this? Black people are actually the Jews and people like Kyle have taken that from them? Stop talking to me. When the Jews came to America to escape persecution in World War II, they found that blacks were already the underclass in America. So they had to invent a story for themselves which they could make everyone believe because Kyle runs.
So I think here they're just mocking sort of the incoherent nature of Israelism and conspiracy theories, right? And notice here, he says something that not Hebrew Israelites don't even promote, but I think they're just lampooning the ridiculous nature of some of the claims. That when the Jews came to America, well, there's already Jews in America prior to World War II, and they saw blacks are underclass, so they had to invent their own thing, so that's why they stole their identity. And then he comes up with a non sequitur, which is because Kyle runs Hollywood. So Kyle's a Jewish character, and so this all relates to the Jewish character runs Hollywood in the episode. Okay, so that's what's going on. Does everyone follow so far?
Hollywood! Kyle runs Hollywood, Duncan.
Okay, now that's our first clip from South Park. You guys ready for the second clip? I see a lot of people in the live chat going, what is going on? What is happening right now? What is going on? And I understand your bewilderment here. It is quite fascinating because it's not just that clip. There's a whole bunch more of this stuff that's about to pop off in this program. That's why you need to stick right here. We serve the underserved and look into the overlooked. That's right. And speaking of that, shameless plug, become a Patreon member. Join the squad, patreon.com/vocab. You become the Patreon squad. And we're really close to our goal of 100 patrons before the end of this month. So we got a week, well, less than a week, because February is a shorter month. Less than a week to hit our goal of 100. Please join today. We need the support. I would really appreciate it. Here is the second clip.
Did you or did you not tell students at this school that Kyle runs Hollywood?
So I don't know if this is supposed to be like the PE teacher or what this guy is, or the principal, but he's like all military. So he's calling the Cartman character into the office. He's like calling him to the carpet about this, you know? And this over here is Kyle with the green hat or whatever. And so listen to what he says. And I think this little bit right here, what it's going to do is it's kind of almost lampooning again what some people consider an overreaction to anything that's anti-Semitic. Now, I'm not saying that that's the case, but I know that there's people who say that, because at the end of this clip, he's going to go, whoa, you guys really take this serious. And that seemed like someone who's like, whoa, what's going on? Why are you taking this so serious? Well, there's a few reasons. One is the Holocaust, and the other is worldwide Jew. So the episode ends with all the characters cheering and going, let Kyle run Hollywood, let Kyle run Hollywood, which is what he was trying to get away from. Then he ends up actually running Hollywood. So is everyone caught up here on what's happening with South Park Hebrew Israelism? Let me get your comments or questions here and tell you a little bit about what's going on as we switch over one last time to... By the way, this is not actually from the episode. It's like a 3D generated image type of thing that you see there with the Tolkien character basically being like a Hebrew Israelite. I thought it was interesting and perfect to have on for this thumbnail here.